I ditched work early, passed on the company holiday party, and shelled out $540 for a Christmas Eve flight. My seat at the table had a sticky note. Saved for Ryan's girlfriend. She's new, my mom explained casually. We thought you'd be okay standing, she said. I nodded, said fine, grabbed my bag, and walked out. 31 minutes later, my sister texted, too sensitive. It's not a big deal. I opened my app, froze the family payments. But what my dad said at 9:04 p.m. shifted everything. I'd flown cross-country for this. A $540 one-way ticket. I left the office at noon, skipped the corporate dinner, stuffed my things into a backpack and raced to the airport because family was everything. Because I still thought being there meant something. I hadn't seen them in person since last Christmas. We'd done video chats, birthday messages, the usual miss you emojis. But this year, I was showing up. I pictured the scent of baked turkey, the way my mom always scorched the first tray of biscuits, how Dad acted like he wasn't tearing up during the midnight blessing. I imagined my place at the table. Turns out someone else had claimed it, literally. I walked into the dining room, snow still clinging to my coat, clutching a damp gift bag with Dad's favorite bourbon, and saw the note first. A small blue square stuck to the back of a chair, saved for Ryan's girlfriend. That's all it said. No punchline. No, just kidding. Just those 5 words in Mom's handwriting. I stood there, staring at the note, hoping it might vanish if I blinked enough. Oh, Mom said, emerging from the kitchen with her usual grin, as if I hadn't crossed 3 states to be there. She's new here, she added with a shrug. We figured you'd be fine standing. Standing? Like a guest. Or worse, like I didn't belong. I said, fine, quietly, mechanically. Then I turned, grabbed my bag, and left. I made it 31 minutes down the snowy road before my phone pinged. Too sensitive, it's not a big deal. From my sister, no name, just that. I stared at the text, pulse racing, finger hovering over the reply button. Then I opened my banking app. Halted the family support payments, done. But what my dad said at 9:04 p.m. changed everything. It wasn't the sticky note. Not really. That was just the spark. The fuel had been building for years. I didn't head back to my hotel. I pulled into a gas station, watched the snow pile up on my windshield, and cranked the heater until my face felt raw. Then I started thinking. The truth is, I've always been the one who made it simple for them. When I landed my first tech job, Dad said, now you can take care of us. Not in a playful way. In that heavy, expectant tone that meant, start covering the bills. So I did. I started paying their Wi-Fi, their car loans, even their heating costs, silently, automatically. Because that's what good sons do, right? Ryan, he was the free spirit, dropped out of college, spent years drifting, discovering himself. When he came back, broke from a failed startup, I let him crash at my place for 9 months, rent-free. I even covered the counseling sessions he said would get him back on track. When Mom needed oral surgery last year, who paid the $3,400 not covered by insurance? Me. When Dad's old Chevy died and he needed a reliable car for church, who co-signed the new lease? Me. I never grumbled, never brought it up. Even when I skipped trips, even when I ate instant noodles for lunch while sending money for someone else's electricity. So when my sister texted, too sensitive, I wanted to chuck my phone into the snow, I didn't. Instead, I opened our family chat, scrolled through months of messages, and saw the pattern. Every time I shared a success, a promotion, a work trip, a raise, it got a nice or two. Meanwhile, Ryan's new girlfriend making cupcakes, 30 comments, 4 smiley faces, and Mom writing, she's a gem. It didn't stop there. I remembered last August, when I flew in to surprise Mom for her birthday. I arrived at midnight, crashed on the couch because Ryan had borrowed my old room, and woke up to an empty house. They'd taken Ryan's girlfriend to a brewery tour, a note on the counter, back by 6, make yourself at home. They didn't even leave me a slice of cake, but I still paid the next month's utility bill. Because that's what I was taught to do. Provide. Be the steady one. The unseen one. Ryan, he could stroll in with debts, a bad credit score, and a girl he met 3 months ago, and they'd bend over backward to make her feel at home. They gave her my seat. That sticky note wasn't just about a chair. It was a signal. You're not essential anymore. So I made some calls, stopped my automatic transfers, told my accountant to pause the family fund contributions I'd been making for years because Dad wanted a secure retirement. Then, for the first time in forever, I did something purely for me. I ordered takeout, Indian, extra spicy. Sat alone in my hotel room, laptop open, streaming a movie, and for once I felt nothing but clarity. Until 9:04 p.m. That's when Dad called. I stared at the screen, debating whether to pick up. My finger hesitated, then pressed. Hey, I said, flat. A pause, the kind that carries weight. You left, he said. Yep. Your mom's upset. She's also the one who gave my seat away. Another pause. Longer. She didn't mean anything by it. Sure, let's pretend she didn't. What about Ryan texting me 2 hours ago, asking if I'd chip in for their wedding next spring? Silence. Right, I said. You didn't know that part. Dad sighed. Deep, heavy, familiar. You know how things are. Ryan's not as lucky as you. Lucky? I laughed. No, Dad. Ryan's careless. I'm reliable. There's a difference. He's improving. She's good for him. She's sitting in my seat. Don't be dramatic. And there it was. The classic line. The one they always used when I dared to speak up. I closed my eyes, pressed my fingers to my temple. You know what, Dad? I'm done being the guy who works 60 hours a week so everyone else can play house. I'm done being your fallback. We never asked for it. That's garbage, I snapped. You expected it. You think because I never complained, I'm fine with it. Well, here's the truth. I'm not. I haven't been for a long time. Silence. Then, softly. Son, it's Christmas Eve. And I'm spending it alone in a motel by a gas station. Because you needed Ryan's girlfriend to feel welcome more than you needed your son at the table. Dad didn't respond. So I hung up. That was the last I heard from him for 4 days. I wasn't going back, not after what they did. Not after what they didn't do. But then Ryan called, 3 days after Christmas. His number lit up my screen and my gut said to ignore it. But curiosity's a cruel thing, I answered. What? A hesitation. Then, hey man. Weird question. Did you stop the family support payments? I leaned back. Yeah. You didn't tell anyone? Didn't need to. Okay, he said slow. Well, things are tight. The January mortgage didn't clear. I know. Silence. Then, in the weakest, most insincere tone I'd ever heard, maybe we could talk? I laughed, sharp. Oh, now you want to talk. What changed, Ryan? Run out of sticky notes? It was just a seat, man. No, it was a statement. You and Mom made that crystal clear. I hung up. 5 minutes later, Mom texted. Can we meet for coffee? Please, it's not what you think. I didn't reply, because I knew what was coming. Dad called that night. I let it ring. He left a voicemail. We need to talk, face to face. Sunday dinner. I stared at the phone, heart pounding. Sunday dinner. My old tradition. Roast beef, peach cobbler. Everyone acting like they weren't quietly draining me. Something inside said, go, but not to make peace. I showed up Sunday evening. Knocked once, let myself in like always. The house was spotless. Too spotless. Like they were staging a truce. Mom came out first, apron on. You came, she said, smiling like we hadn't erased each other on Christmas. Dad was in his recliner, holding a newspaper like he had something to do. Ryan and his girlfriend were on the sofa. She wouldn't meet my eyes, probably ashamed. Good. Dinner's almost ready, Mom said brightly. No need, I said. I'm not here to eat. Everyone froze. I'm here for one reason, to say things I should have said years ago. Sweetheart, Mom started. No, I cut in. You don't get to sweetheart me, not after what you pulled. It was just a sticky note. You think this is about a chair? I laughed. That was just the icing. The cake? It's 20 years of you treating me like the dependable one. Never a person, just a fix. Ryan snorted. Dude, you're being dramatic again. Don't. Just don't. I turned to Dad. You let it happen. You watched me work overtime, pay your bills, skip my vacations, while you threw parties for this guy when he managed to show up sober. You let him take my seat and ask for money in the same breath. And the worst part? You all thought I'd just keep doing it. Dad stood, slow. We never asked you to. Exactly. You expected it. Because I never said no. Ryan leaned forward. You always had money. You don't even have a family. I turned to him, heat rising. You know what's a big deal? Working 60-hour weeks so Mom can have internet and you can plan a fancy vineyard wedding for your dating app match. I was good enough to pay for your counseling, but not good enough for a seat at the table. Mom looked like she might cry. We didn't mean to hurt you. You didn't mean anything. That's the issue. You never thought about me. Only what I could give. The room went quiet. Then I pulled an envelope from my coat and dropped it on the table. What's this? Dad asked. Your taxes. I'm not doing them this year. Find a new accountant. Wait, what? Mom looked lost. I transferred the car lease back to you. Canceled the insurance. You've got 60 days before the health plan I pay for expires. Oh, and Ryan. He looked up. That wedding fund you asked about? Use it for chairs. I'm not coming. You're not serious? Mom gasped. Dead serious. You made space for someone else. I'm making space for myself. And I walked out. They didn't follow. They didn't try to stop me. This time they knew. When I left, I expected quiet. What I didn't expect was how calm that quiet would feel. The kind of calm that shields you. No buzzing phone, no guilt-laced requests, no just this once that turned into forever. Just silence. On Monday, I walked into work with a grin that surprised the front desk. "You hit the jackpot?" she asked. I laughed. Something like that. I didn't explain, but that was the first day in years I drank my coffee warm, ate lunch without checking my account after sending someone rent money, slept through the night without waking to a text from Ryan saying, "Can you spot me till Monday?" By Wednesday, the texts started. First Mom. "Honey, your dad's upset. He says we need to talk. Come by this weekend." Ignored. Then Ryan. "Hey man, Dad says you cut their dental plan? That's harsh. Also, can you send the Netflix login? We're locked out." I blocked him. Then Dad called. I didn't answer. His voicemail started calm and ended sharp. "I don't get how you can abandon your family like this, after all we've done for you." I laughed so hard I nearly dropped my phone. All they'd done for me, like giving my seat to a stranger, like taking every dollar I sent and still making me feel like the problem when I set a limit? Number. Not this time. They expected me to fold, to feel bad, to backtrack like always. Instead, I did something worse. For them. I thrived. I signed up for a 3-week hiking trip in Colorado, something I'd always wanted but couldn't afford because I was paying someone else's bills. I rejoined my gym, took long runs, deleted the family chat, blocked my sister when she added me back. I grabbed drinks with coworkers and for once didn't hide why I always looked drained. I told the truth. My family's a money pit. I finally pulled the plug. One guy raised his beer. Respect. That word hit different now. Respect wasn't staying quiet. It was saying, enough. But then came the call. 9:04 p.m. 2 weeks after the Christmas Eve mess. I almost didn't answer. The number was blocked, but something made me swipe. "Hello?" The voice was soft, heavy. "Hey, it's Dad." He sounded worn. Old. "Okay." "I'm at the hospital," he said. I sat up. "What happened?" "Your mom collapsed. Exhaustion. Stress. Docs say it's not serious, but she's shaken. She's been crying. Asking for you." I stayed silent. "You made your point," he added, loud and clear. "But maybe you can stop punishing us." My blood burned. "Punishing you? You think I'm punishing you because I stopped being your bank? I'm not punishing Mom for letting me walk out of Christmas like a stranger. Don't use her tears now." Silence. Then, quietly, she told me about the seat. Said it was her idea. She thought Ryan's girlfriend would feel out of place otherwise, and it never crossed anyone's mind that I'd feel out of place. We didn't mean it like that. That's the problem. You never mean it. But it's always the same. I give, you take. Another silence. Then, a whisper. "I miss you, son." Something tightened in my chest. Not pain, not guilt, just truth. "I miss who you used to be too," I said. "Before you traded me for convenience." I hung up. Days passed. Then a message. Not from Ryan, from her. Ryan's girlfriend, now wife. "Hey, I know you don't want to hear from me, but I need to say, I didn't know." Pause. Another text. "Your mom said you'd be late, that you weren't staying long. I only learned what happened after you left. If I'd known, I wouldn't have taken your seat." Then the gut punch. "Ryan told me you were loaded, that you wouldn't care about standing, that you don't care about family stuff. I'm so sorry." For a moment, I didn't know what to feel. But the truth landed hard. He knew I was coming. He told her to take my seat. He knew what it would do, and he wanted it. Because deep down, Ryan resented what I stood for. Duty, success, accountability. He was the chaos they indulged. I was the foundation they leaned on and quietly despised. Well, not anymore. The next week, I got a formal email from my parents. Subject, family plan. Attached was a PDF with budgets, timelines, a roadmap to independence. It read like a corporate proposal. Desperate. They were trying to prove they could survive without me, begging for a second chance, asking for 3 months of transitional support, then full financial separation. I read the numbers, then deleted it. By March, the calls stopped. By April, I was off every shared account. By May, I booked a trip to Lisbon, solo. And somewhere between the flight and my first sip of port wine, I realized something I never dared to believe. I didn't need them. Not like they'd made me think. Not to define me. Not to validate me. Not to own me. Lisbon was vibrant. Not just the streets or the music. It was the way the world felt alive when you stepped out from under someone else's weight. I roamed the Alfama district with my phone on silent. No family chats, no Ryan texts, no just one more favor voicemails. Just the sound of my steps on ancient stone and the thrill of quiet. Earned, not given. Every evening, I watched the sunset from a different spot in the city. On the 5th night, a stranger asked to share my table at a rooftop cafe. She had bright eyes and a laugh that didn't apologize. We talked for hours, about nothing and everything. She asked where I was from. I said, used to be a family guy. Now I'm just a guy. She grinned. Sounds like liberty. I nodded. Finally. Back home, life kept moving. I got promoted. Senior systems engineer, the kind of role people competed for. Meetings with executives. Input on strategy. My boss said, "You've been too quiet for too long. People are noticing now." That hit different. For years, I was the guy who held things together. At work, at home, everywhere. Now, people didn't just need me. They valued me. It was the first time I didn't feel like a tool. In June, something unexpected arrived. A wedding invitation, Ryan and his girlfriend. Vineyard wedding, July 20th, RSVP by June 30th. The envelope was elegant, heavy paper, pricey. Inside, next to the RSVP card, a handwritten note from her. "I hope you'll come. He doesn't get what he did, but I think he's scared to admit it. You were right to walk away, but maybe he needs to see you stand firm in person." I stared at that note for a long time, then tossed it in the bin. July 20th, the wedding day. I spent it hiking in Big Sur, the ocean breeze cutting through me like a reset. I didn't check my phone until dusk. One missed call. Mom. One text. He kept looking at the door all night, like he thought you'd show. I stared at it. Didn't respond, not to hurt him, but because I was done playing the hero for people who never saved a place for me. August brought a surprise. I ran into Ryan's wife at a coffee shop. She looked tired, frayed, like someone trying to smile through a storm. She saw me, stopped, then approached. "I didn't expect to see you," she said. "I live here," I said. She hesitated. "We moved in with your parents." "Of course they did. They offered," she said quickly. "Just temporary. Ryan's job fell through. He's still figuring it out." "Always is." She looked at her hands. "He's struggling." "Not my problem." She looked up, eyes wet. "I know. I wish you were his brother." That lingered longer than I expected. Not because I pitied him, but because for the first time someone saw it. I didn't answer, just nodded. Walked out with my coffee. September, my birthday. I wasn't expecting anything, wasn't waiting for it. But just before noon, a package arrived. No sender. Inside, a plain wooden box. A folded note. One line. "You were right. I'm sorry." Inside was the bourbon I'd brought for Christmas Eve, unopened. I sat there staring at the bottle, then stood, walked to my patio, and opened it. Poured a glass, to no one but me. By November, I'd sold my apartment and moved cross-state, new place. Bigger view, new furniture, no baggage. The final step? I changed my number, wiped the old backups, cut the last tie. But before I did, I wrote one message, copied it, sent it to Mom, Dad, Ryan, no room for debate. "This is the last you'll hear from me. I'm not angry, I'm done. I gave you everything, time, money, love, patience. You took it, spent it, called it normal. Then you left me standing. Literally. I'm not standing anymore, I'm walking away. For good. No hard feelings, just hard lines. Goodbye. Sent." And I let go. Completely. Here's what matters. I don't miss them. Not the guilt, not the manipulation, not the tense silences after every no I dared to say. Not the weight of being the family's foundation while they built dreams on my back. I miss who I was around them. The guy who thought being needed was being loved. He's gone. In his place, someone tougher, wiser, freer. So yeah, I missed Christmas dinner. Stood outside a house I helped pay for, holding a gift they didn't care about. But walking away? That was the best gift I ever gave myself, and the last I'll ever give them.